Hi, welcome back to the World Music Institute's FolkTales series. I'm Bill Gordh, I'm a storyteller. And today with me is Kaoru Watanabe playing Japanese instruments. And we're going to share the great story of the dancing tea kettle, Bumbuku Chakama. And the story begins with an old man living up in the mountains in a little house. I don't know how long he's been there, quite a while, I think, quite a while. And he has a little house and he likes it nice and neat. He has those beautiful screen doors coming, sliding to open up onto his porch. The mats on the floor. Keeps them nice and neat all the time. His little stove with the tea kettle on it, an old tea kettle. He likes to have a little tea in the afternoon. And on the day of this story, or at least when the story begins, he's about to have some tea and he notices, oh no, this tea kettle is starting to leak. It's not going to be working very well for very long. What am I going to do? Got to get another tea kettle, and I love this one. And he went out and sat on the porch to think about it. And just then, he heard something going on in the house. What? What could that be? What in the world? What's that? Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. He ran and saw, what? Whoa, what in the world is that? A tanuki? Whoa, what in the world? Looked like a little dog raccoon dog. Started running around his house. Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. And just like that, it didn't get out of there. But suddenly, there was not an animal there. There was a tea kettle. What? A tea kettle? I was just talking about a tea kettle. And this is a nice one. This is a nice tea kettle. Wonder if it works. So the old man took the old new tea kettle and he filled it with water and he put it on the fire and he started the fire and he sat and watched it. And as the water started to bubble and boil, wait a minute, the spout of the tea kettle grew ahead, and the handle became a tail. And 4 legs came out of the bottom, and there was that animal again, and it started running all over his house. Hey, this is happening all over again. I cannot believe it. Hey, come on, stop that. Chase it around, it's wrecking his house. Whoa. Come back here. Hey, you. And finally what in the world? It's changing back. Whoa. There go the legs, gone. There goes the head, gone. There goes the tail, handle again. Whoa. It's a tea kettle again. That is so strange. Do I dare heat up the water again? I don't know. Well, maybe that's all it'll do. So he put it back on the fire and he got the fire going again, and sure enough, The water started bubbling and boiling. Once again, the neck drew ahead, the spout that is, and the back handle became a tail, and here come the legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it starts racing all around the house again. Whoa, 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 I can't believe it, I can't believe it. Hey, 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 you, stop, stop, stop. Tanuki, 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 stop, stop, stop. And suddenly, just as fast as it had transformed, there it goes again. Its head goes back into the spout, its tail back into the handle, its forelegs pulling back, and there's the tea kettle. And he picked it up, and he said, well, maybe I'll put it back. No, that would be foolish. I'm not going to put it back on the fire. In fact, I've got to get rid of this thing. In fact, I'm going to build a box. So the old man got some wood and built a box and put that tea kettle down in the box and put the top on and hammered it shut. Whew. And the old man came and sat out on the porch and put the box right next to him. He had a big job to clean up in the house, but he needed to rest a little bit. And he sat there looking out, and he saw an old friend coming up the road. Haruki. Oh, Haruki, his friend Haruki. Kind of a handyman. He could do anything. And he was always cheerful and always ready to help and do whatever needed to be done. Haruki stopped, said, "What's going on?" Said, "Well, old man, I have a mess in my house. It's really a mess." "Well, let me help you there." So Haruki went in the house, and they straightened everything up. And they came back outside, and the old man said, "Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, I've got an idea. There's something very unusual in this box right here, and I think maybe you should have it." "What's in there?" "Oh, well, you'll find out," said the old man. Haruki said, "Is it a surprise?" "Oh, yes, I think you will find it a really amazing surprise." "Well, okay, so I'll take it. Thank you very much." So Haruki started walking down the road, dirt road it was, and walking and walking. He's carrying the box, and the box started moving, and something was moving inside the box, and he could feel, whoa, 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 what in the world is going on in this box? I've got to look inside there. And he set it down, and he pried it open, and he looked down in, and just a tea kettle. Sure seemed like something alive in there, but it's just a tea kettle. Okay. Put the lid back on, hammer it down. He's a handyman, so of course he had a hammer with him. Exactly, you heard it. Put it back down, picked up the box, started walking again. He lived in the village, so he was walking along, and whoa, the box started quivering and moving around again. Whoa, what's going on? This is the wildest box. It's like something's alive in there. So I better check it out. He said it was a strange thing, and let's see. And he put it down, and he pried it open again, and he looked in, and whoa, just a tea kettle. This is too much. Well, he put the lid back on, hammered it down, and took it into the village. And when he got home, he said, "I want to look at that tea kettle." And it's late in the day by now, and he ate his supper, and he always liked a little sweet rice cake for dessert, mochi. Made him happy. So he had a little of that, and then he said, "Well, let me open up this box and take a look at this tea kettle." And he looked, and he said, "Wow, that's a nice tea kettle. I think I'll put it on my little windowsill here. I have a nice wide windowsill, and it'll sit just beautiful." And I can lie in the bed and sit up and look at that tea kettle in the morning, and maybe I'll start some tea with it. Well, Haruki went to sleep that night. But somewhere in the middle of the night, we can't really know exactly when because he did not have a clock with him. But something was happening with that tea kettle. And Haruki woke knowing something was different. And he looked where the tea kettle had been. And there was the tanuki. And it was just moving in a beautiful move, like a little dance across the windowsill. It was a beautiful dance. And Haruki just watched. And then he sat up, and right away, the tanuki became a tea kettle again. Doom, 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 doom. All those things, just like we've been saying before. The head went back into the spout. The tail went back into the handle. The four legs went back into the body of the tea kettle. Whoa. Whoa. I've heard of those before. They're magic. Whoa. And he decided to make some tea. So he filled the tea kettle with water and put it on the fire. And by now you know what happens when the water starts to boil. Oh yes, and it happened again as he watched. His spout turned into the head, the handle turned into the tail, the four legs came out, and it started turning flips across the windowsill. Bump, 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 one after another. It jumped up, spun around 3 times, back down, jumped up again, did a double flip, landed on the windowsill just like that. And he said, whoa! And it was about to turn into a tea kettle when it stopped and it looked at, He said, wait, look. And he had his little sweet rice cake. He was just thinking he might eat the rest of it when he saw that tanuki looking at that rice cake. And he knew, you always can tell when somebody wants something to eat. So Haruki put his hand out, and that little animal grabbed it and ate it right up and smiled. And then it turned back into a tea kettle. And after that, they became friends. They became friends because it turned out the tanuki could even talk. And it could talk when it was a tea kettle, or it could talk when it was the animal part of itself. And they became best of friends. And every evening they would break the rice cake in half and share it. And that animal was watching Haruki and saw how much he was working hard every day, helping people out with this and that and this and that and this and that, always getting paid a little but never very much. And that animal started thinking. And the tanuki got an idea. And one night said to Haruki, hey, I've got an idea. You work too much. And it's great the work you do, but I think we can do something else together. And Haruki said, "What's that?" "Well," said the tanuki, "we can put on a show." "Yep, this is what you do. You find a place that will let us put on a show, like a little tent or something. Make some posters and write on the posters, 'The Dancing Tea Kettle. Come and see for yourself. Unbelievable. Not seen very often ever. Come, come, one and all.'" And so, that's what Haruki did. He made a poster. He started traveling around and he's saying, "Come, come, everyone come. Come, come, everyone come. Come, come, everyone come. Come and see the dancing tea kettle. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Come, 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 come. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Oh, yes, you are." Well, people wondered about this dancing tea kettle. Haruki held it up outside of the tent where they were going to be. He said, "Look at this, everybody. That looks like a regular tea kettle, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it?" And everybody nodded, yes. "Well, come inside and see what happens. Come inside and see what happens. Come inside, you'll see what happens, and you will be amazed. You will be amazed." Well, people wondered, it is worth paying a little just to see what they were talking about. And they came in. And he put the tea kettle up on the stage, and he stepped back, and the tea kettle did what the tea kettle does, and there goes its spout into a head, there goes its handle into a tail, and here come the legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Haruki said, "Today you are going to see the amazing fan dance." And here it is. And people were swaying and swaying and swaying, and watch that animal dancing. Dancing, 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 dancing. They were watching that animal dancing. Dancing, 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 dancing. Having the fan, having the fan, fanning this and fanning that, fanning here and fanning there. They were dancing, everybody started dancing. They said, "This is the most amazing show we've ever seen in our lives. Look at that tanuki dancing, dancing. Look at that tanuki dancing, dancing. Look at it dance, look at it dance. Fan dance, fan dance. Fantastic fan dance, fan dance." Whoa. And when it was over, people were smiling, and it turned back into a tea kettle. And Haruki said, "Spread the word." And the word went out. And the show at the end of the week, people were lined up. And they had decided that on this night, they were going to do the spinning top dance. Here it is. Round and 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 round went that little wonderful animal, round and round and round and round. The people got dizzy just watching, smiling and dizzy. Wow, look at that thing, look at that thing. And it would do a flip and spin again, like a top, like a spinning top. It was unbelievable. Just like that. Well, at the end of that, everybody's saying amazing. And of course, just like that, it turned back into a tea kettle again. They went back home. They had a little mochi. They started traveling around Japan. They decided, they announced the tightrope walk. Everybody had heard about this amazing tanuki and the tea kettle that could dance and do all kinds of tricks. Well, they had set up a wire across in front of the stage. And just as always, the neck became the head, the handle became the tail, 4 legs came out. It climbed up the pole. It started across the tightrope. Whoa. It did a flip. Whoa! It did a double flip. And a triple flip. And all that time holding an umbrella and spinning the umbrella. Round and round and round it went. Round and round and round it went. It was amazing. And everybody just sat there, mouths open. What in the world is this? The word spread. Haruki now had lots and lots and lots of gold, money that people were so happy to spend on such an incredible performance of this dancing tea kettle. And they traveled all over Japan. People would wait for days and days just at the chance to see the fan dance, or the spin, or the tightrope walk, any of those things. And these two great friends, a person and a tea kettle animal, well, Haruki knew this animal friend very well by now, and he could see that it was getting tired. And he loved his friend. And he said, "You would keep going, I know, but I have a feeling you would just like to be a tea kettle again all the time. Am I right?" And the tanuki nodded its head and turned back into a tea kettle, its head to the spout, its tail to the handle, its four legs pulling up in, and there was that tea kettle. And Haruki started thinking about all that time they had had together and what would happen next. And he knew that the performing days were over. And so what he did was he got half the gold he had collected and he put it into the tea kettle. And he took a walk. And he walked 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 up into those mountains. And there, sitting on a porch, was an old man. And the old man looked at Haruki and said, "Wait, I remember you. You're the handyman, aren't you?" And Haruki said, Yes, I am. And you changed my life." "Was it okay?" "It was wonderful. And old man, I brought the tea kettle back to you." And he put the tea kettle on the little table next to the old man's chair. And he told the old man about the dancing all over Japan, and the tightrope walking, and all the joy they had brought to their audiences everywhere they went. And Haruki said, "But those performance days are over, and I think this tea kettle would like to spend its time with you now. And when I go, look in the tea kettle. There's a little something for you." And here's a little sweet rice cake, Moki. You should just keep it nearby, because that tanuki loved the sweets. And so Haruki waved goodbye, bowed and waved goodbye, started back home, and the old man looked at the tea kettle, and then he looked inside. And you know what he found. Gold. And that's our story. So we just finished, and what a pleasure working with you. Thank you very much for your wonderful.
It was my pleasure.
Good playing. So let's hear a little bit more about you. We have a short time to kind of let people hear a little bit about our guest artist, and it enhances the experience of the story and the playing. We believe. So why don't we start with where you're from? A little about your life up till now.
How much time do we have?
We don't have a lot of time. You do not have but a few minutes. Where are you from Japan?
No, my parents are from Japan. My family's all from Japan. Relatives are all from Japan. But I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah, my parents moved in the late 60s from Japan to join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra.
Both
of them.
parents.
My dad was a violinist, my mom's a harpist, and they were with the symphony for 44 years or so. And
wow.
They originally went for graduate school and ended up being in the orchestra, but that's how I ended up in St. Louis.
Being there.
Yeah.
And so, but as everybody just heard, you were not playing Western music nor Western instruments. So I would think with parents who are both classical musicians, how did that happen?
So I started with violin and then Western classical flute, and was deep into Mozart and Bach and all that when I was in middle school and high school. Then by the time I was in college, I was really devoted to jazz, American jazz music. And so I was playing flute, saxophone. I went to Manhattan School of Music. And it's through the process of studying music that I wanted to know what my connection and with my heritage, and then how that related to music was. Like, I was trying to figure out all these different moving parts, right? There's my upbringing, my parents' upbringing, and how does that fit in with American music, with classical music, and trying to figure out my place and my relationship to music. And kind of a long and convoluted story short, I decided I should study Japanese music.
So where did you do that?
So I graduated from college and I moved to Japan, and then I saw a taiko drumming ensemble called Kodo. And Kodo's...
Oh, they're well known.
They're well known. I saw them at Carnegie Hall, and was so inspired and kind of... Inspired is not even the word. It was just mind-blowing.
Knocked you out.
Yeah, totally knocked me out. And I heard about their apprenticeship. And I was like, that might open up some secrets, some doors that I'm looking to go into. So I was an apprentice with them for 2 years. The apprenticeship involves running daily 6 miles. It's doing as much drumming as we are doing dancing and singing and different flutes and shamisen and all these traditional instruments, as well as rice growing. We learn how to cultivate. We do tea ceremony and Knoll theater, kabuki theater, all these traditional arts, not just music and dance, but traditional arts and craftsmen making our own drumsticks and things like that out of wood. And after 2 years of that very immersive, transformative process, I was the first American to become a member of the ensemble.
Wow.
So I was on tour with them for many years. And my first tour back in the United States, I was playing at Carnegie Hall with Kodo, right?
Wow.
So I went, within 3 years, I went from watching them on stage and watching them from the audience, just in awe of what they're doing, to actually being up on stage with them.
Fantastic.
This kid from St. Louis playing these Japanese instruments.
Fantastic. So speaking of the Japanese instruments, some will watch this on YouTube, but many people will listen to it as a podcast, so they are not seeing what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Could you maybe tell what the instruments you were playing
Sure thing.
are and make a sound with them so the audience who just heard the story can then kind of connect it with what they were listening to?
Of course. So I guess I'll start with the elephant in the room, is the drums. The Japanese word for drum is taiko.
Okay.
Taiko, and it just generally means drum. And there are different types of taiko. This one, just to give you really technical jargon, this one is called the ojime daiko. Big. It's a 3 foot. Mine is 3 foot diameter. Cowhide. And then we have smaller drums. This is the shime daiko. And then we have two what are called uchiwa daiko. Right? And I have a ton of other instruments that I didn't actually get to. But then I also have the koto. It's a 13-string zither. This is not a traditional tuning. This is my own tuning. I just kind of randomly set it up thinking I'd be playing with a banjo player, but I ended up playing it solo. And then by the way, I have this big disclaimer. I am not a koto player. I have many friends who are very high-level koto players. This, for me, I just kind of use it as a soundscape, as kind of, what do you call it? It has a very different sound when it's done traditionally. I just wanted to put that out there. And the flutes that I play are called shinobue. There's other types of flutes. I don't think I played any of them today. I just played this one called the shinobue, which sounds like this.
Nice. Can you talk a little about your relationship of, we just improvised this, and we both know the story, but we didn't know how we were going to tell it together. Yes. And it certainly surprised me at points. I said a lot of stuff that I had not thought up till we played, and I assumed there were probably some things happened that you, could you talk a little about instruments and story and how you relate with that?
Yeah. So one thing, all the instruments that I play come from, are all traditionally instruments used in accompaniment. And whether it's accompaniment of a festival or a dance or theater, like kabuki theater, no theater, it is always used to enhance a story or enhance a festival or a ritual. So the primary function of all these instruments is not as a soloistic instrument.
I see.
So in that sense, it's very suited to accompanying, for example, a story.
So it's really an accompanist approach to music in that sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, but on top of that, because I have jazz background and other, I do a lot of improvisation in my practice. I'm bringing a very different element as well. What you heard was not at all traditional Japanese music. There's definitely little elements here and there, but what I was playing was definitely not, would be considered traditional music.
I see.
Yeah, it was just as much Eric Dolphy as it was kabuki theater. Okay, so in my heart. So.
Right. And how did you approach? Because we kind of had several different little things for the tanuki to perform, and you did each one quite differently.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't planned anything. I hadn't thought too much. Even before we started, you suggested that I start, and I didn't know if I should start on the drums or the flutes or the koto. And I just started on the koto, and that became kind of a theme. And then, so when I heard certain recurring themes, I would try to kind of go back to those themes, whether it's sonically or with the instrumentation or with the chordal things. I use a little bit of looping on Ableton here just to kind of create, again, go back to these themes. So it was just a matter of trying to, tell the story. And
you certainly did.
Okay.
It's a pleasure. And thank you for your time, and hope everybody enjoys our work together. Thank you.
Thank you.